Infusion is the 2007 addition to Blackpool Pleasure Beach located in England. It's a suspended looping coaster made by Vekoma and is one of their clone layouts. This ride was originally opened at Southport Pleasureland, also located in England, for the 1999 season. When Southport closed due to becoming financially unstable, Traumatizer moved to its sister park Pleasure Beach and is now formally known as Infusion. As like other Vekoma SLCs, Infusion starts with a lift hill straight out of the station, carrying you up a whopping 109 feet. After the low quick lift hill, you plummet down a curved drop with an angle of 60 degrees. Here is where you'll reach your top speed of 50 miles per hour. On ride, it definitely does feel quicker than this. At the bottom of the first drop is also the most intense moment of the ride. This is where you will pull a staggering 4.5 G-force as you ascend into the Sea Serpent Roll. The Sea Serpent Roll is 2 of 5 inversions on Infusion and other cloned SLCs in their 2,260 feet of track. This element does deliver lots of whip and slight hang time in the front row. Although this is quite rough to inversions, they're most definitely not the worst moments on this ride. After the Sea Serpent Roll, you go into a wave turn. This wave turn gives slight weightlessness, but overall doesn't actually do much. To be fair though, it is actually more bank than you would expect while traversing it. This does mean you get slight sideways hang time while you're on it. Overall though, this part is definitely a dead spot compared to the fast-paced inversions later on in the layout. This element is located near the station next to the fast-pass queue line. After the wave turn, you go into a half loop. This is where your on-ride picture is taken, so make sure you pose. The half loop is the second best part of the ride, giving good whip, solid intensity and being quite smooth. Unfortunately, here is where you would have found the waterfall on Infusion, which would get you slightly wet, but this has been off for the last couple seasons. This element is also located next to the fast-pass queue line. Coming out of this brilliant half loop is being thrown to the side while banking, ready to begin a helix. This does unfortunately take away from the half loop, as this isn't severely uncomfortable. This is due to the awful profiling, terrible restraints, and even the ride just being old in general. This is definitely one of the worst parts on the ride and is the start of the downfall of Infusion. The only positive of this element is the whip and slight hang time you get due to coming out of the inversion. Even though this is a quite good feeling, how rough it is actually takes away from it fully. Here is where I'll class Infusion's second half to begin. So now you go into the rough and uncomfortable helix, which is terrible. There is little to no forces on this and it just jolts your head around. This is a massive dead spot on the ride and other Vekoma SLCs. This element is okay on the front due to the view of Infusion's ride area, but the general element is mediocre at best. And now you go into the worst bit of the ride, the last two inversions. The double hardline roll. I don't know what Vekoma were thinking with this element on the SLCs. It is rough, kind of pointless, and overall just painful. This being so close to the end of the ride makes you dread it the full way, which takes away from the experience drastically. The positives from these inversions are the slight hang time and sense of speed you get through them, and also the near-miss elements with the other parts of the track, which is always a good bonus. This is easily the worst bit of the ride and may even give you a headache. This element is bearable on front or back row, but in mid-train this is terrible. And after the final two inversions, you proceed into a turnaround which is forceless, slightly headbanging and overall pointless. Then go into two twisted dips, which do actually give you a headbang, but are actually decent and give you slight pops of airtime in the back. After this, you go into the brake run with a set of brakes, a mini unbanked turn which will give you a headbang, and more brakes, and a final headbanging unbanked turn into the station. And so that is the layout of Infusion, just a simple copy and paste SLC. Although I made it out to be a terrible experience, it isn't actually as bad as you may think. On ride, if you can sit back row or front row, make sure you do. It's a much smoother experience. Also then, put your head to the right hand side of the restraint. If you do this, you'll have less to no headbanging on the ride. Also, go on Infusion in the morning when it hasn't warmed up, as it will be so much smoother. And if you will just do it one time in the season, make sure you do it at the start of the year, because again, it warms up throughout the year. Do this and this will make a better experience and increase how much fun you have on this ride. Personally, with these factors, it is a good ride, but you shouldn't have to do all of this to get a decent ride on a coaster, because it can take the fun out of it sometimes. So in my review, I had to survey the general ride instead of doing all the factors, but it will be put into consideration. So in conclusion, I rate Infusion a 4 out of 10, with potential to be a 6 out of 10. It can become a 6 out of 10 with the methods I stated earlier, or the addition of vest restraints and the water back up to the top levels. The reason it's a 4 out of 10 and not lower is the hang time you can get on the ride. The trains look visually pleasing, the first drop is brilliant, the pure intensity and the potential this ride actually does have. The reason it's lower though is how rough and uncomfortable the ride is, the last two inversions, and how inconsistent the ride actually can be. I do recommend to ride Infusion at least one time, as some people really love this ride while others hate it. It's definitely a mixed bag. It's most definitely not the best ride at Pleasure Beach, and far from it, but on a good day it can contend for top 3 when it's running immaculate. I would definitely not remove Infusion, but it needs to be maintained proper and also get vest restraints, as right now it's been left to rot this ride these days. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe and comment down below what you think on Infusion. Also check out my TikTok if you want to see more videos.